Tell me something more about your life, and your story forced me to know little more about your life.
There's not much to tell.
A young human man named Evan Hale, Aquid engineer living on the edge of a ruined Earth outpost, hears a strange crash outside his shelter during an acid storm. When he steps out, he finds something terrifying. A heavily wounded alien warrior woman lying on the ground, armor cracked, eyes glowing faintly, clutching a broken blade. She weakly growls at him, thinking he is an enemy. He freezes, but instead of running, kneels and says, "If I leave you here, you'll die." Evan carries the alien woman inside his small bunker. She is still strong, and from a feared warrioress known as the Varith. Her name Riker. Even injured, Riker keeps watching him with sharp, suspicious eyes. Evan prepares food for her, something simple, warm broth from his ration packs. She refuses at first, but finally eats a little when she sees he means no harm. Welcome to my channel, Sci-Fi Love Story. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. The night on Old Earth Outpost 17 was always quiet, but that night felt different. Heavier, colder, tense in a way that made a venti wall seem nervous. Evan Hale sat alone in his small bunker, listening to a wind scream across the empty desert. The storm outside was growing, shaking metal panels of his shelter. Evan was used to silence. He liked it. Evan, after losing his old crew and escaping pirates who used to force him to repair their ships, he learned to live with quiet. Quiet meant safety. Quiet meant no one trying to kill him. No one trying to drag him back to a life he hated. But tonight's quiet was wrong. A sudden boom shattered the silence. The ground shook. Dust rained from thick island. Evan's heart jumped. That was not thunder. That was something crashing. He grabbed his flashlight, his old tool bag, and stepped outside. The storm hit him hard, sharp grains cutting across his skin. He covered his mouth and pushed forward. A few meters away, a glowing piece of metal was half buried in the sand. Something or someone had fallen from the sky. Evan moved closer, eyes narrowed against the wind, and then he saw her. A figure lay half buried beside the wreckage. Tall, strong, covered in broken silver blue armor. Her purple skin was cut in first encounter. Riker warns Evan to stay back bruised. Glowing dimly under the flashing storm light. She had long dark hair braided with metallic rings, and her eyes half open, shone like molten gold. A Varith, a warrior alien species known for breaking bones with their bare hands and roaring through battlefield. It's like living storms. Evan froze. Everyone on the galaxy knew the Varith were dangerous. They hated humans. They had fought humans. They did not trust humans. And now one of them lay in front of him, badly wounded, barely breathing. She slowly lifted her head, her voice low and threatening even in weakness. "Stay away, human." Evan swallowed hard. Every logical voice inside him screamed, "Leave her, run, hide, forget you saw anything." But she was bleeding. Her body shook with pain. Her ribs looked cracked, and the storm would bury Hairlev within minutes. Evan took a shaky breath. "I'm not going to hurt you," he said quietly. She tried to lift her weapon, a short broken blade, but her hand trembled too much to hold it steady. "You touch me," she growled, "and he will kill you." "You can try," Evan said softly, "but right now, you can't even stand." Her eyes flickered in anger, but also fear. For a moment, the storm swallowed all sound. Evan looked at her and made a decision he did not fully understand. He knelt beside her. She bared her teeth in warning, but he gently slid his arms under her and lifted her from the sand. She was heavy, far heavier than a human woman, but Evan gritted his teeth and carried her toward his bunker. Inside, he laid her on a padded mat near the heater. She let out a sharp breath of pain, but did not fight him. Her armor was cracked, leaking blue energy from damaged power channels. Evan opened his medical kit. Basic supplies, nothing special. "I need to fix these wounds," he said. The Varith warrior's eyes narrowed. "Do not touch me, human." Evan paused, meeting her fierce gaze. "If I don't, you will be." The woman studied him for a long moment. She was a warrior. She knew when her body was failing. After a slow breath, she looked away. "Do what you must." Evan carefully cleaned the cuts on her arms and sides. The Varith skin shimmered faintly when touched. Strange, almost electric. She flinched at every movement, but never made a sound often. "You've lost a lot of blood," Evan murmured. "My blood belongs to battle," she replied weakly. "Not to a human chance." Evan stopped for a moment. "What's your name?" She hesitated before swearing. "Richard. Well, Riker," Evan said. "You're safe here." Her eyes shot open sharply. Safe with a human? She almost laughed, but it turned into a cough. Evan ignored the insult. He finished bandaging her wounds and then prepared a warm broth from his ration pack. He placed the bowl near her. Riker stared at it like it was poison. I do not eat human food. It's either this or nothing. Her stomach growled loudly. Even she froze in embarrassment. Evan pretended not to hear it. After a long moment, she grabbed the bowl with a grudging grunt and drank a small sip. Her eyes widened. She had not expected warmth and comfort. It is acceptable, she muttered. Evan smiled a little. That's a Verifer glared at him, but said nothing. Hours passed. The storm continued outside. Riker sold PT and woke. Slept and would have first meal. Evan feeds Riker and starts earning her trust again. Body fighting to heal. Each time she opened her eyes, Evan was licking her wounds, adjusting her blankets, giving her water. She didn't understand him. Why help her? Why not leave her outside? Humans were selfish. Humans were weak. Humans were cowards. Yet this human stayed. Late into the night, Riker woke up and found Evan asleep in a chair beside her, his head leaning forward, a tool still in his hand from repairing a broken heater pipe. He looked young, tired, and peaceful. She studied him silently. This human is strange, she thought. He does not fear me. He does not hate me. Why? She noticed something else. His hands were rough and scarred, not soft like most human civilians. These were the hands of someone who had lived through many hard things. The next morning, Evan offered her more food. She accepted it with less grueling this time. Her wound still hurt, but she could sit up now. He said gently, "What happened to your ship?" Riker's expression went dark. "We were attacked," she said, "by pirates. They wanted our cargo. My squad fought them, but there were too many. I crashed while escaping." Evan froze at the word pirates. He knew that world well. She noticed his reaction. "You know them," she said. Evan hesitated a little. She studied him, her golden eyes narrowing. "You have the look of someone who has seen the cruelty." "I've seen it now," Evan said quietly. Riker nodded. She understood. A warrior always recognized another soul touched by battle. During the next 2 days, Riker healed slowly. She tried to stand but fell back. Evan caught her before she hit the ground. She pushed him away immediately. "Do not touch me. Verifer warriors stand alone." Evan raised an eyebrow. "You weren't standing." Riker opened her mouth to argue, but nothing came out. Later, she surprised herself helping Evan fix the broken water pump. She couldn't move much, but she guided him. "The metal is weak there," she said. "Put pressure here. Do not be slow. You're very bossy," Evan said. "I am a commander," she replied. "That explains everything." She shot him a sharp look that was almost like the beginning of a smile. That night, Evan sat near her again, adjusting the heater settings. Riker watched him quietly before asking, "Human, Evan, why did you help me?" Evan sat still. The question clearly hurt him somehow. He answered in a soft voice, "Because no one helped me healing and trust. Riker slowly opens up when I needed it." Riker blinked. That was not the answer she expected. Verifer warriors respected strength, but they also respected honesty. And Evan's honesty hit her harder than she wanted to admit. "You risked your life," she said. "Your species is weak to infection, to injury. I could have killed you when I woke, but you didn't," Evan said. Riker looked away. "Perhaps he should have, but you didn't," he repeated calmly. Her chest tightened. She wasn't used to this kind of calm, this quiet strength. Before she could speak again, an alarm beeped softly from Evan's scanner. He stepped over and checked the screen. His face went pale. "What is it?" Riker demanded. Evan's voice was tight. "There are ships landing not far from here." Riker's eyes widened. "Show me." He helped her to the window. Outside, through the storm, the small, dark ships descended onto the sand, engines blowing dust in huge circles. Riker hissed sharply. "Ignore that model. Those are pirate ships." Evan's stomach dropped. Of all dangers in the universe, they were the worst ones to find him again. The hatch of the first ship opened. A tallman stepped out, wearing metal armor, scavenged from different battles. He kept his hands around his mouth and shouted, "Evan Hale. We know you're here." Riker slowly turned her head toward Evan. Her voice was low and dangerous. "They know your name." Evan swallowed. "They've been looking for me." Riker grabbed her broken blade and pushed herself upright, eyes blazing with fury. She stood between Evan and the window, her voice deadly. "Human, stay behind me. If they touch you, I will kill them all, the pirates shouted again. Their footsteps moved closer. Evan stared at Riker, this tall, fierce alien warrior who could barely stand, now protecting him with her life. The storm raged outside, but the sound off pirate ship's landing was louder than thunder. Evan felt his chest tighten as the familiar metal-clad figures walked across the sand. He had hoped they would never find him again. He had built his quiet life here to stay hidden. But danger had come knocking anyway. Riker stood in front of him, swaying slightly. One hand pressed against her ribs.